Hi, I'm Mary Wong, registered traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and acupuncturist, founder of Alive Holistic Health Clinic, author of Pathways to Pregnancy, and your life and fertility coach. I want to welcome you today. And normally I do live posts on Wednesday evenings, but today I'm so honored to have Arne Grinsted with us. And he's actually in Denmark. So we had to find a time that works for the both of us. So I'm just going to bring him in and I'll tell you a little bit about him before we go on and talk about laser and fertility. So welcome, Arne.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you for taking the time out, and it's dinner time for you. And just for those watching, I really apologize that we were meant to be starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but there was some major technical difficulty, and thankfully we worked it all out. So we didn't want to cancel out on you. So here we are, a little late, better late than never.
Absolutely.
So Arne Grinsted is the founder and CEO of PowerMedic Lasers, which started all back in 1982. So he's had a lot of experience. He's an electronic engineer, has a master's in that, and one of the very first pioneers worldwide in low-level laser therapy, and short form is LLLT. He's designed several devices and is constantly working on developing new cutting-edge LLLT devices. Mm-hmm. And the latest being the power laser and the giga laser. So he's going to talk to us a little bit about laser, obviously. His headquarters is in Denmark. Since 2000, the Giga Laser clinics have treated more than 400 seriously infertile women, resulting in 267 pregnancies. So that is a success rate of 67%. So let's first go straight into what the heck is laser therapy? Because not everybody knows what this is, right?
No, exactly. A lot of people don't know what it is. But to start with, laser is a form of light that is monochromatic and coherent. These are very non-layman terms, but that goes to say that laser light is very well organized, it's focused, and it has the ability to deliver energy in a very efficient way to whatever you are treating with the laser. When we're talking about laser therapy, it's obviously we are targeting the cells that we are treating in an area where there's a problem. So what the laser light does, as soon as it enters the tissue, it will penetrate all the cells in that volume of cells that we illuminate, and then it will go into the cells and hit all the mitochondria inside the cells. And the mitochondria inside the cells, as you may know, they're responsible for producing the energy for the cells. And the thing is, with the laser light, it's a direct way to circumvent the normal production of energy in the cells. So as soon as the laser light hits the mitochondria, they will start to produce more energy in the form of so-called ATP. And that will do whenever there's a problem in the body. It's characterized by the fact there's too little energy in the cells. So if it is an acute injury like a sprain or whatever, the cells all of a sudden they need to do a lot of extra work compared to what they're doing day to day, when they just have to make you able to get up and walk and talk and whatever you want to do. But when there's an injury, all of a sudden they have to repair that injury. They have to create new collagen tissue. They have to stop the bleeding. They have to carry away all the dead cells and so on. It's a heck of a lot of extra work, so to speak. And in that whole period of time, a sprain will normally be maybe 5 to 6 weeks to heal up. And in all that time, the cells are working complete overtime. And the thing is, when you put laser therapy on an injury like that, you will sort of give the cells some extra energy. So that repair process, that healing process, can happen a lot faster. So we're talking about reducing the healing time from weeks to days. Right. So instead of 5 weeks, it's 5 days.
Yes.
So we have these professional and maybe not so professional football players, handball players, and so on, who instead of getting kicked out of the team because now they're out of commission for 5, 6 weeks, they'll go out and play again the following Sunday without any problems. This is really fantastic. So that describes what the laser therapy can do in an acute situation. So in a more chronic state, it's a little bit different, but the same problem, the same problem with lack of energy is the same, because if you have chronic inflammation, chronic muscle tension, you will have a lot of cells that actually do not have enough energy because the blood circulation is kind of down. It's blocked by the constant muscle tensions. So you don't have the delivery of basic elements to all the cells. So things stagnate and get stale. So it's a downward spiral. So yes. It only gets worse and worse, you know.
Right. So let's relate it straight to fertility, because that's what people are right in the meat for.
Exactly.
And that totally makes sense because, of course, as most women who are, researching Google all the time, they hear, oh gosh, I have advanced maternal age, my eggs are old, there's a decline of energy. So you just hear it, Arne says, it increases cellular energy.
Exactly.
So the impact on your eggs and your ovaries, right? So do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So exactly that is where I'm leading to, actually. So when women have problems getting pregnant, it's one of these problems with reduced blood circulation, muscle tensions. They have endometriosis, they have PCO, they have maybe irregular cycles and so on. And the thing is, in our body, in total, we're made out of cells. The number of cells in the human body is estimated to be around 37 trillion cells. So that's a lot of cells. And all these cells, they're like a little engine that has to do some kind of work. And like any other engine, they need some fuel. And the fuel for the cells in the human body is ATP. And the ATP is produced by the mitochondria inside the cells. And there's a different number of cells in the body. In our skin cells, there are maybe a few hundred. In muscle cells, there are between 1,000, 2,000. In our brain cells, there are up to 10,000 mitochondria in one cell. And the same with the heart. So there's only one place in the human body where there's more mitochondria per cell, and then that is in the female egg. So there you have up to 600,000 mitochondria in one cell. So you can see it's all about energy in the cells. So what laser therapy will do for these women, it will reduce the inflammation. It will increase the blood circulation. It will reduce these chronic muscle tensions. So it will normalize the whole thing and get the energy flowing. So what we do with the laser therapy, it's a supplement to either the natural method or to any other assisted reproductive technique. Because what we do, we optimize the surrounding, the whole ecology inside the womb to better be able to not only get pregnant, but keep the pregnancy to full term. So that's what happens because we normalize the whole situation. We, so to speak, we fertilize the soil, as they say.
Yes. So then question, are people also utilizing it on their abdomen directly and during pregnancy?
Well, the funny thing is that there are historically some contraindications for laser therapy, and one of them is actually pregnancy. And nobody really knows what the explanation is, other than it's in order to protect the practitioner from lawsuits and whatever. Because if you're treating a pregnant woman and 2 days later she gets an abortion, she'll come running and say it's your fault. So it's more like a precaution. I do not believe, and I've spoken to other specialists, I do not believe there's anything other than good things that will come out of treating when the woman is pregnant. So I highly recommend that, actually.
Okay, so then you're saying that practitioners are utilizing it during pregnancy then?
Yeah, some are.
Okay, great. And then
some are a little more cautious. So that's up to.
And then, so is it also utilized during menstruation then?
Yeah. Actually, the standard protocol is starts on the first day of menstruation, and then we give 2 to 3 treatments per week up to the ovulation. And that will kind of prepare the whole thing for receiving a fertilized egg and keep it. So we see even all these like endometriosis and PCO, the symptoms reduce dramatically. So we are helping a lot of women, not only to get pregnant, but with these other problems.
Absolutely, because there's pain involved, there is the irregularity of the cycle, and if you increase the energy of the cell, just work that much better, right? Now, so then it's also indicated for scar tissue, right? Correct? And there's lots of women that have surgeries, post-surgical scars, and the like. Do you want to address that?
Yeah. Scar tissue is a very big problem when you want to get pregnant, because it kind of, when you have scars in the skin and all the way down, it blocks the energy, and you got the different layers in the body. They adhere to each other, which they're not supposed to. They're supposed to be able to move independently of each other. So what they do here is to manually kind of move and mobilize the scar, and then you give laser therapy. And we have tremendous results with that. We see scars that are maybe 20 years old, and we get them completely soft and flexible and almost invisible. It's incredible. And we see that afterwards, the woman gets pregnant because now there's not that problem anymore.
Mm-hmm. So then I see that it could also work well for fibroids, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's so. Have you heard or seen women that their fibroids break down? And so, for example, in acupuncture, in Chinese medicine, we say, if a fibroid is about 3 centimeters and under, you're able to resolve it. But if they're, like 11 centimeters, the size of a grapefruit, we say, you know what? It's been around a long time and it's so dense, I'm not sure how much we can impact it. Now, have you had experience with women with large fibroids such as that?
Well, I cannot speak to specifically that big amount of scar tissue, but I would say from our experience, it is really well worth trying. And when you mention acupuncture, it's one of the things that is very beneficial to combine acupuncture and manual treatment and mobilization of the whole thing and laser therapy. So the more modalities you can involve in solving the problem, the better.
Right. So the gist is, for those of you who already work with an acupuncturist, see if they also have laser available and combine the two. At our clinic, we do much more in the way of acupuncture, but, because of you and perhaps Lauren Brown, who is the founder of AcuBalance, that, you guys are doing more work. And I know in Europe, there's more people doing more work with the laser as well. So absolutely. I'm excited to learn about that. And so Alive will be offering more and more of that as well. So that's great. And I'd love to get more insight from you as well. Okay, so we talked about treatment protocol and combining with other modalities.
Yeah.
And so now, of course, 2 things left, very big. Men are always left out. So how about the men?
Yeah, well, we have treated and helped many men. And as opposed to the women, it's a lot easier to help the men because it's about treating the testicle. And in terms of volume, that's much more easier to get around than with the women. So what we do is we treat the testicles 2 times 10 seconds each. So that's a total of 40 seconds.
Right.
And we see an increase in the sperm count from before and after, rise from 2 million units per milliliter up to 35 million.
In how long?
In one go, one treatment.
Wow. Okay, so
40 seconds, and I know it sounds completely crazy, but we see that time after time.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's the count. How about like if a person has enough volume, but it's a problem with morphology, meaning the shape, or a problem with its ability to swim, motility?
Well, it will certainly, there's a natural selection there. So the more energy the sperm cells have, the better they're able to swim,
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing is, when you look at a sperm cell, you have the head and you have the tail.
Yes. And
right beneath, before the head, you have this kind of little necklace. That little necklace, that's mitochondria. So that's actually the fuel reserve for the sperm.
Right.
So when you are able to stimulate with the laser, stimulate these mitochondria and load them up with ATP, with the fuel. So when they have to go, they have a lot more energy. And and it's the best that will have most energy. So you have that natural selection.
Well, and what I love about that is, first of all, I guess what we didn't say to all of you, low level laser does not hurt. It's painless. You can't feel anything.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to envision, the kind of laser that people are using for laser surgery. Completely different. That's like high intensity burning laser, right?
Absolutely.
So this is important too.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah.
So low level, you feel nothing. And so then just to be clear, are you putting the laser itself, the light, directly on the testicle, correct?
Well, we're not touching it. There's maybe 1 or 2 millimeters distance. So we're not directly in contact with the testes.
Okay. So still non-invasive for, men that are freaking out. What's that?
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt. It's not invasive. You don't go in or anything. Yeah. So I guess most men wouldn't want a surgical laser in that area.
No, they're man pride organs. Yeah, no way.
Yeah,
just have to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last bit then is, are there any side effects? We got to wrap up because I don't want to talk too long.
There's actually no side effects. With the low-level laser therapy, the worst thing you can do is you either give too little energy and nothing happens, or if you give too much, you won't do any damage, but you can have a kind of therapy reaction, like if you're treating some muscle tensions and you stimulate too much or treat too many points, you can have a reaction afterwards where it's increased pain or stuff like that, which will disappear the next day. Right. So that's the worst thing that can happen. Right. So no real damage, and then only temporary discomfort.
Well, that's great. Great information. Thank you so much, Arne, for being here with us. And I hope everyone here is going to take away and not be fearful of laser. And as he has mentioned, you can combine it with acupuncture, not a problem. And so please check out my posts below, because I have lots of information on my Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, and if you just somehow grab this, you can go on my website, marywong.life, and you can watch this over and over again if you'd like. And I just want to announce that July 8th, I believe, Sunday, July 8th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., I will be on for 2 hours doing my live monthly fertility circle, where I will provide you lots of amazing coaching advice for an hour, and then we'll do Q&A, basically things that you don't get online. Everybody can research themselves to death, and what happens typically, I find, women get very frustrated, freaked out, because you're reading all the crazy things. So I'm here to provide hope, inspire, and give you sound and practical advice that you can do every day to keep you going on your journey and have you thrive. So join me, and you can sign in through marywong.life, and it's a membership and it's a monthly thing. So please sign in, and I think you'll love it. People who have participated so far, I've done 2, and I've only heard amazing things. Some people are watching it over and over again and learning and doing some of the exercises I provided as well. And otherwise, if you don't have my book, please pick that up, Pathways to Pregnancy. And again, I've had, oh my goodness, not in Denmark, but recently I had a person out of Belgium who got it. I don't know how people get it in Europe, really, because it's actually from Amazon.com or .ca, so in North America, but they got it. And this person, I did 5 rounds of IVF, and just reading my book, not that she didn't do anything else, but through my book, it made her process so much easier. And within 3 months, she got pregnant and now is heavily pregnant, big belly. So grateful to hear that, and grateful to have that be shared with me. So please check that out, my book, check out my posts. Join my fertility circle where you'll be part of an awesome group of people. And definitely keep checking out my Facebook Live posts, which next week I believe we're back on the Wednesday. So join us, be here, be square, and love you all. Have a great day. Mwah.